to bathing in milk and honey. Went from holding this bank up to depositing money. Now I'm staying on top with no additional funding. Yeah, I mean to be mean when I lean on this thing and just eat up the beat like a fucking machine. Let you bitches all go hungry cause I lick the plate clean. There's a couple above me with the same reasoning. Yeah, I mean to be mean when I lean on this thing and just eat up the beat like a fucking machine. Let you bitches all go hungry cause I lick the plate clean. There's a couple above me with the same reasoning. We have this knowledge, but we're taking too much time to make us a lifeline to save us, and we must own up and find a leader we can trust and believe in. Depend on one another to meet basic needs, man. And don't leave a fellow man on the path bleeding. Don't be fueled by jealousy or greed. And see the big picture to find your own reason to leave behind what it is you think they believe in. The lies you're living making other men rich. Bait and switch, so you just end up pulling on the short stick. Work like a bitch, but you hardly get paid. They got a word for that, it's called a fucking slave. I know you heard it, I remember the 3rd grade. Riots inside it and still there's so much to say. People divided in the stupidest of ways. This noose is tightening, get the fuck out the way. Yeah, I mean to be mean when I lean on this thing and just eat up the beat like a fucking machine. Let you bitches all go hungry cause I laid the plate clean. There's a couple of moments with the same reasoning. Yeah, I mean to be mean when I lean on this thing and just eat up the beat like a fucking machine. Let you bitches all go hungry cause I lick the plate clean. There's a couple above me with the same reasoning. Let you bitches all go hungry cause I lick the plate clean.
Alright, I think we're live on all the platforms. Let's put that down. Yeah. And that's it. That is one of my kids' most favorite songs that I ever made. Not my favorite song I ever made, but that was one of my kids' favorite songs. So there we go. You guys heard it here. You heard it here first. That song. No, I wrote it like 5 years ago. That song's old. Like most of my songs, because I stopped songing. I stopped musicking a long time ago. Stopped songing and musicking. But today we're coding. I'm getting into Giphium. I'm not sure how we're even pronouncing it, but it's Chris's. It's Chris's project, and I decided that I was going to do a ticket for his project, but I have never worked in Solid or Node.js or any of this crap that they use in this project. So, you know, it's going to be a total learning experience for me. And in the process of that, we are going to... I'm actually going to close this down. Let's save all this. This is the Minecraft. Let's save this one. Get that out of there. Let's close this. Let's open up our Hello World in Node.js, right? So they're using VS Code. Obviously, this is VS Code. They create a directory. They create an app.js file. Do the hello world, console log the message. And then message what? What are they doing? Hello. Oh, they're just, yeah, okay. Yeah, there's a message, console log it. An express application, right? So then to run and debug. Alright, well, like, you know, apparently, shouldn't be that hard once I got Node.js set up. Right? Great code editing, huh? Oh, you've got to read this section. If it starts off with great code editing, here, let's bring this microphone over here. Close the browser and from the terminal in the My Express app folder, stop the Node.js server by pressing Control-C. Now launch VS Code. If you've been using VS Code integrated terminal to install the Express generator and scaffold the app, you can open the My Express app folder from your running VS Code instance with the File Open Folder command. The Node.js and Express documentation does a great job of explaining how to build rich applications using the platform and framework. Visual Studio Code will make you more productive in developing these types of applications by providing great code editing and navigation experiences. I'm not going to read this whole thing. Obviously, that would be boring. But, you know, this is not a very long instructional. If you guys do not know how to do Node.js like me, this doesn't seem like a whole lot to get through on the hello world here in the just getting started, getting set up, getting it running. I don't see this as extremely a lot of complication or a lot of overhead. I think this is relatively straightforward. Now, the truth is I already installed Node.js off stream. I have not tried to run anything yet, but we are going to no error, PNPM, no importer manifest found. No importer manifest found. Huh, let's look that up. So prior this is a long time ago. When were these? Hey, I'm sorry, I'm reading notes here. They're off screen. These were like in 2020. So did I install an old version? Let's see that first. So let's try to do the global install here again. Not found node. Alright, let's restart the computer. Oh man, I don't want to restart the computer. Not found node, huh? Let's see if we can open up VS Code. Alright. Let's install PNPM again for a second time. Maybe it's because I needed Node.js installed first. So let's move this above this. Hell, we should probably just install Node.js right off the bat, right? Good old fashioned. There we go. First install Node.js, run pp installer. So we're gonna leave the version 22. This is what Chris said. I don't know if that's entirely accurate because I didn't really look myself, but he said it was 22, so we're gonna go with what he said. Alright, so this is what I ran to do the pnpm install. Initially, which didn't work. Alright, and that's the... Alright, so there we go. That... Oh, look at that. Look at that. We have success in running something. Something's doing something. Something is doing something. We've got our local host running, it looks like. I guess I have to hit control to visit that. Oh, look at this, guys. We are running GIFM on our local machine. Thank you, CM Griffin, for your help in getting this going. If you guys are not following Chris, CM Griffin, make sure you check out at least his Twitch, right? This is CM Griffin's Twitch here. Be sure that you check him out. Chris is a knowledgeable, intelligent dude, and this is his project right here that I am working on. I will make sure that I also put a shout out to him. I guess I can't shout him out, but I can put a link into our stream chat. Hang on 1 second. Let me get over to my second freaking channel. And in the stream chat, this is Chris's link, and this is what I'm working on today. So we have a couple of and I guess this is maybe what am I looking at? I'm trying to fix okay. I don't know how to use this software either, so that is not making it easy. So the login, obviously. So I think it's here. That works. So it's this. I think it's this shadow box. It's when you unclick it, it doesn't... You can't click it again. This is the error that I'm supposed to be fixing. Is you can click the label on and off, right? So the label click works. But if you can click this off, you can't click it on again. If it's already off, you can't change the state of it. If it's on, you can change the state of it. It is a rather minor bug, so I'm glad, this isn't like super, stopping people from working or anything. So if I take my time with this, since I had to learn Solid and since I'm learning all this stuff from scratch, I have no experience at all on this platform. It's good that I'm taking on a small ticket that is not stopping people from operating. So this is the ticket though. Can click it off, but can't click it on again. You have to click the label to click it back on. Yes, minor problem, but just getting my toes wet into Chris's project here. Now this isn't, a huge project either, which is probably another reason it's really good for me to get my feet in here with this kind of coding, with Node.js and with Solid. I've never worked in these platforms, so it's definitely something that's a good learning platform for me since it's not a real big project. There's not a lot of confusion, not a whole bunch of layers. You know, uh, it's a good start. It's easy to get in on the ground floor. So you can see this is a type and all right. Well, so really we're looking at the settings, shadow, show shadow menu. And now we know how to test and see if our code changes work or do not work, right? So we can test here. So when I looked this up yesterday, as the solid.js checkbox not working, here it is. What it told me is that there is a signal and on the change it's just set if it's text with the, and I think we are doing this in the code right now to some degree, but I read something else about having to explicitly do this one line. The on change set is checked. Let's see if and I think when I looked at our code we didn't have that inside the editor. So let's go over to the editor. The editor is going to be in playground source components. Yeah, here we go. Editor. And here is our shadow checkbox right here. So we do have on change, but it says set shadow enabled. Prop set shadow enabled. Uh-huh. So the checks is equal to the shadow enabled. But if it's not, so this is the drop down menu item. You can see I'm almost thinking it's this checked line right here. Yeah, let's look. Let's go back to our document. And this has something to do about on-chain signaling. Create signal. We use create signal to create a reactive signal that stores the state of the checkbox. So where would that be at the top? Import create signal. Let's see if we can find create signal. So there's import create signal right here. So that's being imported. Okay. So we got that part. Then we have my component, which looks like an initializer. I'm guessing that's where the shadow checkbox is. Let's look for the capital S. I guess that doesn't matter. So and checks is equal to props show enabled. So let's go to the definition of show enabled, which is just a boolean, and there's a setter for it. I don't see anything weird there. So So what about this? This constant is checked, set is checked. We have no results for is checked or set is checked. So, I mean, okay, I can always remove this. This is the full component, so my component constant. And so this is interface editor props. So that's the interface. This is the function. And so this whole thing, I don't really think I need this. But I want to figure out what this line means here. This line. Is setting two constants, which is equal to create signal false. And then it's returning the input type of checkbox. So that sets the is saving, which is probably just like so it doesn't submit it twice. Constant body. So this is the shadow enabled. Props parameter, I guess, or argument. See, I am just trying to figure it out. I mean, I understand what's going on here. You know. And the problem here has nothing to do with the shadow. It's literally the AI. I mean, it's literally the GUI for the shadow. That's the problem. This checkbox, which is just a checkbox. It's just a checkbox. I don't see anything obvious. So then what Chris said is that, you know, it might be in the actual checkbox code here. This is the actual checkbox. Current color. Polymorphic generic props, huh? Man. I mean, I have to say, I wasn't expecting, like, you know, some of these things that they're using in this library, like generics here. This is a generic statement where it's a generic type of T that can be passed in, which has to extend valid component. So it's just interesting how the foundation's written. I used to do a lot of generics work and reflection work. What was the name of that mono library that was used for injecting code and creating assemblies dynamically at runtime? What the hell was that mono project called? Mono something. Mono. If you know, type in the chat window. Yeah, it was part of the Mono project. It's what they used to create Mono IDE. It's how they actually reflected upon all the original code of .NET. Current stats, Moonlight Mono components. I'm sorry, I'm off on a tangent here, but I have to know. This has been poking at me for a while. What the hell was it called? It was a mono library that I used to use, and I used reflection to take this mono library and dynamically create classes at runtime and inject properties and stuff like that in at runtime. Monocecile. Wait a minute. I think it's called Monocecile. Oh, that's it. That's it. Okay, it's been killing me. This is it. Monocecile. Holy shit! It's still around, huh? Yeah. Oh wow, JB. That's right, JB Evane. This guy. Yeah, man, used to totally idolize this. Anyways, this was, if you ever had to do, like, this is what they used to write Mono Studio. Okay, I mean when they wanted to disassemble the .NET framework and wrapper it, build wrappers for the .NET framework. This is the tool that they use to do it. It doesn't even. CECL is a library to generate and inspect programs and libraries in the ECMA seal format. With CECL, you can load existing managed assemblies, browse all the contain tabs, modify them on the fly, and save back to disk the modified assembly. So actually, it's crazy because when I worked for Aetna Healthcare, we actually used Monosecile to help build us our foundational platform, because we would use it to, we'd have developers write very basic simple classes, and then we used Monosecile to reflect those classes and add a bunch of adaptive properties, which was a series of delegates and that were managed through properties that put in like hardwired shortcuts that allowed us to then, instead of using inheritance to piece together two pieces of functionality, we had these delegate adapters that were actually function pointers, and everything that was in the class that was like a property, if you had a regular like string property, we'd reflect through it. We'd use Monosecile to inject a get method and a set method, and then replace the get and set inside that property with calls to those methods, and take the innards of that get and sets from the property and move them into the functions and make them overridable, adaptable functions that were attached to delegates. So this way, from the outside, you could literally just replace out a method or replace out a get or a set off of a property by setting another delegate function to handle it. And while you could totally manually code this layering into your stuff, and it probably would be good practice to do so in an adaptive layering platform, I think that it's the adapter design pattern, by the way. If you guys are interested in the adapter design pattern, it was an absolute hardcore implementation of the adapter design pattern, to the point where we were using reflection and Monosecile to build the adapters dynamically, so that people would write normal classes with normal properties and normal method calls, and we would reflect through them with Monosecile and reflection, and we would create a new class that is what we called the adapter class. And it was actually, like I said, a wrapper for the original class that allowed us to inject code from the outside later on in the game. Also, we use the same library to create a 24-hour service. And what I mean by a 24-hour service is a program that is never, it's not never physically taken down, but it's taken down once a year, once every 2 years. It runs all the time, and we don't take it down even for updates. And the way that we accomplish that is we would use Monosecile to essentially decouple a running assembly from the working stack, from the working stack of the Microsoft Windows execution domain is what they actually call them. We would remove the assembly from that and replace that assembly with a new assembly dynamically at runtime. So it was there'd be a transactional changeover between the two assemblies. So we were able to like make modifications to a component, and then that component would be dynamically registered through an assembly manifest. And if we wanted to change that component on the fly while it was running, while it's processing Aetna Healthcare claims, essentially, we would push a button and it would go through a process where it locked up calls to that component temporarily. It would decouple the old one, couple in the new component, start it back up, and then allow the calls to pass through. It was a software-oriented architecture. I mean, a service-oriented architecture. So it was probably one of the craziest, most complicated projects I have ever worked on. So in depth. I mean, by the end of it, we had our hands in the CLR and an IL and trying to upkeep with Monosecile changes, because they were adding all kinds of new things. Like at first, Cecile did not handle generics at all, so we actually wrote the code into our own version of Cecile to handle the reflection side of it for generics, and I didn't do it well. Later on, when they came out with the version that had the generics and the reflection, it was much better than mine. But just wanted to say this was a great tool absolutely loved Mono Cecile. Like I said, I haven't used it in years, but it is the basis for the Mono Studio. So just like me reflecting upon the libraries at work to rebuild new adapter libraries on top of them, the Mono Studio needed that same thing with the Visual Studio.NET libraries. Essentially, it had to build wrappers on top of them that could be ran on different platforms, like Unix, for example, or even just have access from their IDE. So they ended up developing the Mono Cecile library that was the first product I think they developed. Maybe might have been their first product was Mono Cecile. So, okay, we're back at our checkbox here. This checkbox. Add baseline configuration options. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is there's a lot going on here. Not with the checkbox. I just meant with. It doesn't look like to me. Like our code is wrong in this editor. When I look at the editor, there is and there's like this signal state thing that it talks about, which I don't see us doing. And I was trying to figure out, I mean, it might be in here. I just, let me see, where's my other window? This signal state thing here, where we create a signal, we do have create signal up at the top here somewhere, if I remember correctly. Shadow. Is there a shadow in here? In the create signal script? So there's no shadow in the create signal. Maybe I really do need to create this signal. I mean, we can definitely try it, right? Let's see here. So we've got constant is checked, set is checked here. And we should probably like shadow is shadow checked. Let's spell shadow correctly, or else Chris will kick my ass. So let's see. We got a create signal false here, is shadow checked. We set that up. Now let's go down to, because I'm pretty sure this is in here somewhere. So now let's find our shadow. So now I'm just trying to see here. So checked returns back to is checked, which is the state. So this will be is shadow checked. But see, I'm worried now I'm replacing out this props thing, right? This probably isn't good. And then on change, we're looking at this. is the E supposed to be props? Why? Alright, so I wish I knew more about Solid, honestly. Okay, so I'm looking at examples, which looks like it's calling a. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? So. So we're going to set is shadow checked. I still don't think this is going to work right. But hey. I'm sure this is not going to work. I'm almost positive this is not going to work. But I mean, you know, what's it hurt to give it a good old shot? Let's try to save this. Let's go to our. And now I've totally broke it. Look at that. Totally broken. Yeah, that didn't work at all. Now it's showing the shadow. It's still not working on the checkbox click though. So now I broke it worse. That's all I did. I broke it worse. Okay, well, that didn't help at all. So, so where is create signal used? So, since I know absolutely not, what I figured is that these are an interface for methods. If we go to shadow enabled method, we can see that it's associated with the prop shadow enabled. Is it not unchecked? What about changing this to click? What about we, instead of checked, we just simply change this to on click? Well, that doesn't work do anything. All right. All right, let's try that. I mean, let's try that. Let's see. Let's pull up Giphium. Let's hit next. Let's go to settings. Let's go to shadow. And now oh, now the checkbox works, but the label doesn't. So now I have fixed the checkbox, but I have broken the label. Huh. And that's because what? On select. What if we just change this to on click too? Um, Huh. So we're closer. We've got the checkbox working now, and it's actually showing the shadow. You can see here underneath the shadow that comes on Giphium. But now if I click this, the shadow changes, but the checkbox doesn't change. So I got functionally working where it shows the shadow or not. But the check itself, the state of the check is, well, fucked. So what did I fuck up? So on click, we're setting this. What about if we just do this? Hate to fucking copy paste code. Alright, so now we're going to have to manually set the check from there. I mean, I don't know how else to do it, but... So this is not toggling the shadow. Okay, well that's definitely not going to work. What if I just remove all handling from the drop-down menu item? Does nothing. And this still shadows. But now it doesn't click. Alright, so we're looking at checkbox. Capture Boolean text or checkbox or checkbox. Yeah, so according to this, we don't need any of this right here. We just need a proper 4. Ridiculous. So that works, and this works. What a pain in the butt. So why won't... So is it checked? Oh my god, so now I fixed the label, but not the checkbox. What did I do now? What did I do now? Hey, what's up, Rare? Oh, I am facing. Sorry, man. I did not to be ignoring the chat. I was just caught in my freaking head there for a minute. So I am totally new to Solid JS and I am the problem I am facing is that let me pull it up here. Well, right now I don't know if I've screwed it up more, but I've definitely not improved it. So I've got a checkbox, and when I run this checkbox, what ended up happening is this is the program. This checkbox is supposed to turn on and off the shadow. I seem to be able to get it to work with either the label click or the checkbox click, but I can't get both of them to work. So I broke it again. Before it was working with just the checkbox, and now I can only get it to work with the label. So I'm looking at the code here. Let's see. And I recently added this. which was setting the state. So really, maybe I should be making a method to get the state on signal here. This might be the problem here. But if I remove this, then I think only the checkbox works. So let's remove that for a second. Let's refresh this. So yeah, you can actually see down here, this shadow's coming on and off. Like it's actually processing the signal. But it's not checking the box. The checkbox works now. So now both of them are working, but this one doesn't actually update the state of the checkbox when I click it. Okay. So I'm guessing now when I add back in that thing, the problem is it's always setting it to false. And like, I don't think I should have to add this click. If it's got the label for shadow checkbox, this should do it. Let's move this on change too. I mean, it should be this simple. I should be able to do this. This should work. But it's not working. So what happens when we run that? Now that's not clickable, but the checkbox is. Which honestly, I'm fine with that, but I don't think Chris is going to be fine with that. He's going to want this label click to work too. And the weird thing is, like I said, I can get it to work on the click. But I am having a hard time with the label. And you know, it's really the way that it's supposed to work. If you say this is label for shadow checkbox here, this shit should just work. This should just act like you're clicking on the checkbox. And maybe there's some way like I can manually invoke it. So like, you know. But it's going to be dirty. No matter how I do it, it's going to be dirty here. It's not going to be pretty. It should be this simple. We just say it's for this. And you can see here's the shadow checkbox. It shouldn't be any harder than that. Is this because we have a label inside of a drop-down menu item? Possibly. Possibly. It could also be something with the class here that's preventing the label on click. I mean, I don't know, but there could be a few things here. Yeah, I'm sorry, Warrera, that I missed your chat, homie. I am live right now on 4 platforms. That's right. We are live on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook, and on X. So look, if you're interested in joining my stream here on Twitch and hanging out and actually talking, it is twitch.tv/lifeofdisdain, DISDAIN. And I will actually put it up here on the screen somewhere. The spell. That is my Twitch handle, guys. So if you're watching the stream on one of the other platforms and you want to join in on the fun, maybe help me out with this checkbox. you know, then join on, man. Join on and come help me fuck with this thing. You know, honestly, like I said, I mean, with standard HTML, this label for shadow checkbox should just work. It's got the right ID here for the shadow checkbox. Clicking the label should act just like I'm clicking the checkbox. So I'm not sure why this is not working. We can go down into the checkbox itself. This is the checkbox. Wow, that's a lot of crap up there in that primitive control. I mean, there's nothing that stands out in me to me here that is like, hey, this shouldn't work. Shrink background, bring effect offset disabled. Background disabled. Cursor not allowed. Disabled opacity, pure focus visible. Outline none, pure focus visible, pure focus visible. Data checked. Border none. Data immediate, border none. Data checked, background primary, data intermediate, background primary. Primary foreground, data intermediate, text paragraph foreground. I don't see anything there. That just looks like all styling shit. Good old SVG. Yeah. Export checkbox. Okay. So, what is it about this? You can come in, buddy. You good? What is it about this checkbox that is not playing nicely? I'm going to go grab something to eat real quick, guys. Just give me 1 minute. If anybody can find the answer to why when you click on a label that has a 4 for a specifically ID checkbox, it doesn't work in SolidJS, then let me know. I'm still up in the air with this. I've gotten the checkbox now to work, but the label is no longer working, and I'm not sure if that's... I mean, this is definitely better. At least it's predicted behavior. You know, when you click on the label, it doesn't necessarily click the checkbox, although it should, in my opinion, from a usability standpoint. It definitely should check the checkbox when you click the checkbox, which it wasn't doing all the time before. So, I think I've at least got it minimally working where the checkbox works. But I'd really like to get the label click working on this thing too. And I was trying to do it the right way, which is you simply just put the label is for this, and it should just work. But that is not the case. There might be fundamentally something wrong with the checkbox. But yeah, I'm gonna grab a snack real quick, and I will be right back. What I need is a be right back overlay, don't I? Let's see. Can we add like just an image? We can. Look at that. Just add an image. Oh, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to create, and I'm going to do this real quick. Watch this. We're going to open up Photoshop. Blowing your mind right now, right? I could be a designer too. Look at this. Let's open up Photoshop, and let's create a new file. And let's say, what the heck? What do we want to make it? 1600 by 800, sure. Now let's add a layer here, which is going to be like disdain will be right back. There we go. So we add our big old fat message, right? Let's make it big. Let's make it pretty big. Now we've centered it. We're going to remove this background. We're going to add some nice cool effects. First thing we're going to do is we're going to put an outer stroke on it that's white to give it kind of like that tagger effect. Alright. Even size that stroke up a little bit. There we go. Make it feel really taggerish. Alright, now we're going to export that as a quick PNG to my downloads. We'll just call this Be Right Back. There it is. And now we're going to open it up into OBS. We're going to add an existing image. What? Create a new image. Fine. We'll do Be Right Back. Okay. Now it wants me to pull open the file. Oh, look at that. Look at that. We've got a Disdain Will Be Right Back image. So now all we got to do is, well, obviously get this out of the background. And then we just need to center this. Oops. That's not the right thing. This goes to the image. I say we put it about right there. What do you think? Look at that. We have a Disdain Will Be Right Back image. And I will be right back. Let's see if we can get even. This is ridiculous. I've never spent so much time on a fucking checkbox. Obviously, it should just work. But clicking on it, like, really? Like that? You click on the label now. You can't click on the checkbox. So if we remove the checked, then it'll probably work. But then the label won't work. Right? Nope. So now it works, but now the checkbox isn't working. So this works now, but this is now checkable, but it's not actually doing anything. Yeah. So when we check it, I mean, it's ridiculous. It should have just worked on the original code. But hey. So that's working now. And that's working now. Whoa, hey, we fixed it. We fixed it. What did we do again? So I just totally removed the event. Which was the on-change event. So if we just remove the on-change, I think that fixes it. Let's do one more test again here. Show shadow label click working. Show shadow checkbox click working. And I think that we're done. I didn't even... This is how fucked up it is, guys. I didn't even have to write any code. I literally just commented out one line of Chris's, and now it works. Wow, that while it was hard to figure it out, I really contributed nothing here. So let's recap on this, right? I wanted to get involved in Chris's project. Downloaded everything, got the environment set up, which, you know, included a few different things. Let's see here. It's right here. So first we had to install Node.js, pnpm, and this is the command I used to install that. And then these following 3 VS Code extensions. I got through all that, got it to load up, got the dev environment running for Githium. Come to find that I'm not going to be adding any code to the project at all. The only thing that I did was comment out this on-change event handler. And now it seems to be working. So that was it, guys. Sometimes sometimes your job is to uncode it. I'm uncoding today. So, yeah. Wish I could contribute, Chris. Maybe next time. All right. So, I'm going to have Chris review that change before I check it out. And I'm going to have to. I'm just going to put a note in the ticket for now. Let's go over to the issues. This one is mine. We are going to add a comment. Let's see here. What line number was that? Oh my goodness, where is code? There we are. Comment out line 420. Coincidentally, it's line 420. Oh, that is too funny. Too funny, and I am going to relay that to Chris because maybe it was like, a smoke mistake. We all make them. Anyway, line 420. Oh yeah, that's where we need to go. We need to go to here. Nope, that's not where we need to go. Not these places. We can get rid of that, get rid of that, and get rid of this. We are in the code base there. Where is the? Wasn't I just writing it? Okay, let's go back to issues. Let's go back to here. So, it was not the signal. I thought it was a signal, but it looked like that was all working just fine. And I think that we've really solved the issue. The issue was that we didn't need the on-change event handler. And that was it, line 420. Speaking of line 420, I'm going to be right back, guys. I've got to address my own line 420. Talk Smiles, what's going on, bruh? I figured out that that bug with the checkbox for Chris's project. And it's really sad because I wanted to contribute to the project. Like I wanted, like, hey, I want to do something that's significant. Actually, I ended up having to uncode to fix this. I didn't add a damn thing. Didn't contribute anything. I commented out one line of his code, and now it works. So, way to contribute there. Way to contribute. Anyways, I did get the solid JS and PNPM and all the extensions installed so I could actually run the project. And I have never touched TSX files in my life, so I'm pretty proud that I could even figure out the damn checkbox problem. I really just kept screwing with it until I figured it out, like we do in most codes. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, I spent a lot of time on that damn water. I can tell you that I was, I thought, hey, this will be a simple game. I'll just, it's going to be a fishing style game. I'm not going to give out all the details of it, but yeah, so it's not wind effects, but I do have the weather system tied into the water. So essentially, as the weather progresses, when it's a clear sunny day, the water's calmer, but when there's thunderstorms, the water gets more turbulent. And all the math is not exactly worked out on that yet. I mean, it's still kind of a work in progress. But yeah, I'm having fun with it. I wanted to challenge myself, and no way to push yourself on a Roblox game like that. Then under the ocean, we've got also procedurally generated, under ocean ground as well. So there's a couple things going on there. There's a infinite map of water and an infinite map of land generated underneath that water, being with a different terrain. And then I'm still dealing with some of the floating stuff. I had all the floating working really well at one point, but then I tried to like abstract some of the floating work into tags, and it didn't work out right. So now I'm gonna have to like go backwards on that. But yeah, it's been fun project, man. And honestly, I started like a year ago with my son. He's been drawing the boat models and stuff because he does 3D modeling in Blender. And I said, okay, well, I'll try to take the boats to do something with Roblox, And here we are. Now I'm like, I did not know it was going to be such a major project, though. I kind of thought, oh, they just have everything, for this, like, infinite water and infinite procedural land generation. I thought that'd all be just, like, built into Roblox. But no, I learned the hard way. Learn the hard way. None of that shit's available. If you want to do that, you gotta... Yeah, and actually, that's not even his best boat. That was something he just, like, slapped together in a hurry for me. He's done much better stuff than that since then. It's just that was like his first. That was probably your first boat, wasn't it ever, Julian? Yeah. He just slapped that thing together. But he's got much better now. Now he's doing some crazy ass modeling. He modeled an entire shipping container house for us that we're gonna build in Michigan. It's crazy though, but yeah, that was when he was first getting started. But he thanks you for the compliment, for sure. He's sitting here next to me, smoking with me. We were hitting one together. I got to do, the one thing I wasn't happy with is I wasn't happy with the actual skin on the water. I just couldn't get that right. So... something else I gotta play with in there. I wasn't happy with the actual texture on the water. I'm happy, and I'm still not happy with the actual wave frequencies yet either, but we'll get there with it. Like, I played fishing, what was it, Fishing Simulator? Is that what it's called on Roblox? Yeah. They've done a really good freaking job, man. I want to get it like Fishing Simulator, essentially. At least the water physics. It's not quite there yet. But I got it working, and I got Infinite Generation working, and I got the waves working, and a lot of that wave work is complicated, man. I did not think it was gonna be as complicated as it was, but it was complicated. I struggle with some of that shit, and I consider myself to be a pretty damn good developer. I don't know. In 16 hours, I learned how to fix a checkbox in Chris's project, not knowing a damn thing about the platform. I'm pretty proud of that right now. Actually got that shit to run. Yeah, it's exactly what it was. Yeah, it's a bone plane, yeah. Yeah, and actually there's a lot of examples online. I followed the examples online. I didn't invent this. Yeah, I went off the guys that were, and I don't know if it was the guys building Fishing Simulator or the guys that were building that pirate game. But yeah, I used a bone plane that was done in Blender essentially, and then we ported it in. I just wasn't happy with the texture on it because I don't know. It needed to be more fluent, like where you couldn't see the breakup in it as much, especially at certain angles. It just didn't flow right exactly. But it's a work in progress. But yeah, it was a bone plane, and then I was using where is it? Hang on, I'll pull it open here. Let me pull up in the Roblox project. I can take a break from Chris's now. All I have to do is check it in, but I'm gonna wait till he gets on just to make sure that I didn't do anything he didn't want me to do. So yeah, the Roblox project, Roblox Studio. Let's take off my be right back thing. Sorry. I've been back for a while. I didn't actually ever leave. I just put that up so. I wasn't expecting anybody to be in my chat. Honestly, my content does not get much people coming in here. You know, Thor eats them all up. What can I say? Damn you, Thor. You're sucking in 17,500 users and leaving nothing for the rest of us. I'm just kidding. Love Pirate Software guy. He's cool. Yeah, so let's pull up in this project here real quick. Where is my experiences? Okay. So let's open it up. Boom, boom, boom. It's funny because yesterday when I opened this up, I was just finding my way around the project. I hate it when I leave a project for like months, because then I can totally never find anything. So it's using Gerstner waves. That's what it's using. Yep. It's using Gerstner waves and bone planes and a quad tree system. So, and then this is the floating stuff, which, like I said, so the way that I did this is initially it was like attached to the boat. This is the problem I'm having now. Initially, the floating mechanism was attached to the boat. And since I'm not using Roblox water, I have to mimic floating and all that crap myself. And then when you're doing the waves through the ocean, obviously, you need to make the boat like, kind of like rock with the water. Now, mine's not doing that right now because I had to disable a bunch of that. I was testing crap, trying to get this to work. It's not working. But I did have that working. At one time it was rolling with the water and all that works great. But the problem I ended up having is I tried to make a tag. A tag that it was just where I could tag the boat with the thing floating. And this was just so I can rapidly make and generate boats in the game. I wanted a way to just tag them. And let me find the boats here. So you can see here, this boat has a tag called boating on it, right? And the hull of it will have a tag. I think it's in the hull. No, it's not in the hull. Where is it? There's no tag on the hull? Okay, now I've confused myself. There's another... What is it? Where did I add that? Oh, I think, you know what? Hang on. See, I think I moved that. I think that's where part of the problem is. Is that, I might have actually moved the floating tag into the code. Yeah, so right here, I think I'm putting it into a collection that then tags it later into these floating objects collection. Anyway, it's not working. I wanted to just make it so I could tag like any object with the word floating, and the physics of floating would just get applied to that object through tag collection service. But that is not working right. For some reason, when it tries to attack, I attach like these little cubes to the front and the back of the boat, and it just doesn't float right. When I did my waves, I just made the flotation work on the nearest node, or I mean, the 3 closest nodes. Yeah, I actually attached like a little physical cube to the, it's invisible, but like a cube to the 4 corners, essentially. And that way I can get the rolling effect with the waves, so I'm calculating from the 4 corners the height of where the Gerstner wave is for that mathematical coordinate. Like I said, this was a lot more freaking complicated than I thought it was going to be. But it's worked good until I went to try to weld these little cubes onto the corners dynamically. When I put that into the collection service and the tag service, now when it goes to weld, and I really didn't change the code at all, other than I just placed it in a different place. But now all of a sudden, like, the welds are like way off, like mathematically. I've got these 2 cubes, and they're like, let me see here. I got these 2 cubes, and I made them visible temporarily, but they're like way the hell off. The nearest node of the 3 closest nodes. Yeah. This is a problem really with the oh yeah, so now my boat spawned up there because I was screwing with the physics. See, this is well, that's not gonna work. Yeah, that's not gonna work. I've got to fix that obviously before I the boat's floating in the air. Oh, there's the, so you can actually see there's those cubes I was talking about. Those are supposed to be actually on the very front of the hole and the very back of the hole, like at water height, essentially. So it doesn't take much calculation. For some reason, when I'm attaching them dynamically using this tag system now, like, they're not getting attached appropriately. So I guess when I move the object or something, but now they are attached. I don't know, it's weird, they're attached now if we move the object up and down. Yeah, I'm using a weld constraint. Yeah, exactly. It's right here. Where is it? So this is the welds right here. The front weld, you know. And as like I said, this code actually worked when it was attached to the boat. When I had it in a script attached to the boat, it worked fine. It worked great. I had no problems. As soon as I moved that script into this, and I, like I said, this thing where I want to use this collection service to collect anything that has a tag, and then it pretty much loops through those, and it does the same code as like when the boat was instantiated. But you can actually see the boat code. I got the old ship here. Is it in there? That's the throttle. Where did I have it? That was an old ship. This is what happens when you don't look at your project for a while. Oh, it's probably in the main here. I swore it was this script, but it's not. You can see these were all manually attached before. And so I was trying to dynamically build the boat where I didn't have to define the cubes on each boat and everything. I just said, this is a boat. And then it would attach the cubes dynamically through the tag. And it would, you know, do all that. When I have a firm weld constraint like this. Oh, you can't see that because of my photo. Sorry. There you go. when I had firm weld constraints like this on the old ship and everything was actually like, was all welded, it all worked great. When I moved it into the script and just tried to put everything on this boating tag, that is when it ended up getting screwed up. And so I've been dicking with it. It's just, you know how it is. There's some weird piece in there somewhere. There's something I did wrong. It's not the code's fault. I can tell you that much. I know it's me. When I copied it over, it did some shit. So that's just what I'm fighting with now. But no biggie. I'll figure it out. I'll dick with it until I do. So yeah, and then I got swimming working, and that was a chore too, but it wasn't as bad as I thought that would be. So far the boats have been much worse. But yeah, getting swimming working, getting the ocean generation to work, and then the weather system, right? I took, this was actually a working module somebody else developed initially, and I reworked the whole thing. I reworked the whole dang thing to actually work properly, and it was a lot more. It's like a lot more efficient. So now you can see here, if I set the time, I actually integrated the new cloud system too with Roblox into here. So you'll actually see, like, when things go to cloudy, the clouds will actually transition to cloudy. And over time, like, the clouds will texturally get, darker and darker and more. And all the way down until we get to, like, thunderstorms. And then it gets real dark. And I did all the rain and the weather, and I got all that integrated. The lightning storms. All this stuff is fun to do. I really enjoy it. So actually, like I said, I got somebody else's models, and for the weather stuff, I got somebody else's module, and it didn't work right with any of the new stuff. So I integrated the waves into it. I integrated the clouds into it. So now everything's integrated with each other, and the weather system's pretty rock solid. For some reason, I've got to do something with the check. Like, if I change my mouse switch, it doesn't seem to change the screen direction. I need to fix that. But yeah, so you can see the infinitely generating underground cooling. That's not a map. That's being generated. You can see on the edge here. So I got underwater generating. Your plane is made of a GIF, huh? I see. You can see I don't like the frequency of the waves right now. They don't feel as real. But my guy does, like, kind of work on the wave water. It's not perfect yet. I mean, it's close. I think I just need to do some more. The trick is mathematically calculating on the client side the same mathematical calculation as done on the server side without actually passing data between them. I'm using a mathematical algorithm. So, the Gerstner wave algorithm that's hosted in a static module that they both can access. Code loop on the texture of the water so the foam and stuff moves a little. Oh, that's smart. So then the animated GIF adds to the dynamicism, the visual dynamicism of it. I like that. That is smart as shit. I did not use a GIF for mine. And actually, I was trying to figure it out. I had it in Blender that we used, and now I gotta take it back to Blender. I think to actually get it because they had exported and shit. I don't know. But I like your idea. You see the seam right here? This is what pisses me off about my house. This seam. That is dirty. So that pisses me off. That's where I don't like it. It's not everywhere, like you just have to hit at the right angle. You hit it like along one of those edges at the right angle, and you see that seam. There it is again. Now the weather here, if you change the weather. We can clear up the waves a little bit. Now it'll take a minute to clear up because, you know, the wave pattern math isn't instant. But, yeah, I'm enjoying this, man. This has been a fun game. Yeah, man. Well, and actually, like I said, a lot of the initial work was done by another guy he set up that UI for the admin. I added a lot to it, though, and I tied it all together. He didn't have the clouds. He didn't have the waves. He didn't have... And actually, like I said, his coding was horrible. The concept was good. The admin was good. Yeah, the character is totally a bit jittery right now. And especially when it's interacting with the height of the wave. Like, you can see there's some bugs where he'll, like, land on top of the wave and not... It's not... The calculation's not perfect right now. Also, like, when it goes horizontal, it's pretty close. It's just... I mean, it's honestly acceptable compared to some other games. But it is, it's not acceptable to my standards. I'm definitely having a problem with the update of the direction, though. Face up and swim down. So that's a problem. That's something in the update. Yeah, there's definitely some flaws with this character code for sure. There's a lot of flaws in this system, man, but it's a good start. It's a good start. You can see there he's like swimming on top of the water. I tried to program it where it was like a meter, I mean, you know, like a character hit height below where it would just like land. But sometimes the Gerstner calculation seems to be a little off. I also got the sun and the moon going on the time and, you know, the real-time scale. I think that was important to get nailed down. The weird thing is you can have, like, this view where you got the sun and the moon on the horizon at the same time. That anomaly is weird in my opinion. I need to offset their time so they're more opposing to each other. Like, the sun's going down and the moon's coming up, but maybe they shouldn't be on the same horizon. Yeah, add fish, right? Oh, yeah. Well, look, man, I mean, okay, so me and my son's idea with this is we wanted to do crab fishing. You know, have crab traps, so you go out and drop crab traps and you pick them up. And, I mean, that was just the start of it. We didn't want to do fishing simulator. We wanted this to be more of like I mean, we wanted it to be actually a real crab fishing simulator, not like fishing simulators. A lot of role play, very arcadey. And we'll add some of those elements, but I think that over time, it's just gonna, you know, it's gonna end up evolving into whatever the customers want it to evolve in. Like all good software, is you come up with an idea and you stick it out there, and then you let your customers and users drive the development of it. You know, not 100%, but everybody pitches in their ideas, and then you chase down the most popular and most demanded things. Anyway, man, I started this thing forever ago, and it was just for me to learn Roblox and how it was done, and I was actually kind of depressed that there's so little in their engine to work with on these kind of things like oceans and terrain generation. And you know, if you've got to write your own terrain generator, it's not fun. It's not fun. I went through a lot of examples of terrain generation before I hack together ours. But yeah, crazy, crazy stuff, man. That they don't have a lot of that built in uh, into their platform. If I was if I was on their dev teams, I would at least be writing components for this stuff. The ocean's been done 3 or 4 times at least that I know of by other people. So you think that they would have been like, hey, let's work on that. And I mean 3 or 4 big projects. And same with the infinitely generating terrain. Now I know we can do it ourselves, but we shouldn't have to do it ourselves. Let's see, where's my terrain generation, by the way? It's going to be in... Is it going to be in server scripts? I can't ever remember where I put it. Oh yeah, I also put in a wind shake for the trees. The trees do shake in the wind. I don't have any trees on here right now. I actually had before I did the procedural generation of the everything off the island. I actually had, like, a drawn map that was much prettier and had trees that shook in the wind, and that was where I learned how to do the tagging. Yeah, yeah, they got Perlin noise at least. I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm not close to being done with this. This is so far from. This is still an experimental mode. Oh, I bet it is, man. I bet it is. Like I said, it seemed very powerful. That's why I wanted to implement it, and I still will chase it down. I'm not giving up and going backwards yet. But I did have it all, the physics all working before I got into the tagging. And then somehow through the implementation of tagging, I fucked it all up. It's okay. We'll get it working. We'll find it. Trial, error, push the buttons, keep pushing. It's fun stuff. That's what coding's all about. If you give up, you can't be a coder. Giving up is not allowed. That's the one thing you can never do, guy. I give up. Nope. Then you get out. No giving up. Yeah, I really enjoyed the Roblox project so far, though. It's been fun. It has been. And then I've got a Minecraft mod project going too right now. So I'm doing a Minecraft mod in 1.16.5, a full transactional based commodities market for Minecraft. Which, yeah, I could actually pull that one up too. Hang on, let's see if I can find that. Oh, you made Project Zomboid mod. Wow, really? I am not even familiar with that mod. Is that for Minecraft? Oh, for Project Zomboid. It's called Sanity. And it makes the game harder. Oh, that doesn't seem like Sanity to make the game harder. Alright, let's look it up. Okay. Let's look at the Sanity mod. I got you. I got you. Is this it? Is this the project? Oh, interesting. Wow, great, man. Yeah, that's a big subscriber base, dude. That's good. That is good. Well, that's isn't that the way you want to be as a modder? You want to find a niche that the devs just haven't, that everybody wants, but the devs just haven't implemented. And if you become the go-to mod for that, eventually they just adopt you because it's easier to adopt you than to code it all themselves. I mean, that's the dream. Sometimes they'll even pay you. Sometimes they'll even pay you for it. No, that's too cool, man. That's too cool. Yeah, that is awesome. And that's the kind of thing. Yeah, Only 1,000 lines. Yeah, but that's the way it is. It's a good idea. It's not about the length of code. Coming up with something for the market is about good ideas. You can write 90 million lines of code that doesn't do shit. Write 1,000 lines of code that does something everybody wants, and you're a winner. Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, so okay, everybody go ahead and check out Rocky's Sanity mod for Project Zomboid here. I know there's no one else in here, Rocky, but we do stream on 4 other platforms too, simultaneously. So this my Twitch is very very low visitor rate because I just started this Twitch. This is the Twitch for me personally, just to screw around on with all these kind of projects, right? This is cool though, man. This is cool. Fatigue, hunger, thirst, stress from not smoking, and unhappiness. Oh, so straight up nicotine addiction available. Gradual loss of sanity triggers realistic reactions. Yeah, I mean, that's great, man. This is awesome. You pretty much finished their job for them. Would you read their ticket system and they're like, hey, I'll implement that one. That's what I'm doing on Sea of Griftings right now. Chris's stuff. This is let me pull open another Visual Studio Code window. And let's open up the commodities. What is this? Yeah, I don't know what that is. Why it opened the Gradle alone. This is a Minecraft mod. Let's open this up real quick. I'll show you this. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's the way it is in a lot of games. At least they're supporting modding, unlike these dudes, Mojang, who were like absolutely against it for the longest time. The only way to write a mod on this was like to decompile and deobfuscate their code for a while, and then things like Spigot and Forge came out. But if these guys would have embraced modding early on, this shit would have blown up a hell of a lot better. Minecraft did good, don't get me wrong, but it could have done better. They could have chose not to put it on fucking Java to begin with. That would have been smart. Who the hell writes a game on a runtime? Anyway, let's not talk all this crap. The Chinese Minecraft, no, I have not seen it. But I did see a 16-year-old rewrite the entire game of Minecraft in about 6 weeks in Unity. So, you know, back to my original point, maybe Java, writing the entire engine yourself in Java on a runtime wasn't like the smartest architectural decision. Talking to you, Notch. Talking to you, homie. It's okay. He was an architect. No, and I have not seen the Chinese Minecraft. I'm going to have to look up Chinese Minecraft. Oh, okay. That's, is that what it's called? Is Chinese Minecraft? Minecraft China? Chinese edition? What? I'm an adult. Am I? Well, I mean, mentally or physically? This is such a tough question. I go back and forth on this. Okay, we're going to say I'm an adult. What the hell? Look, the fucking state has all my information. They just sucked it down as soon as I entered this site. Bam! Big China. You got social score. You now 100 points. Congratulations. Chinese edition keeps your social score in mind. Please enter social card here. Oh, so what's the difference? Okay, what is the difference between Chinese edition? Is a localized edition of Java and Bedrock editions for the mainland China, which just means it's in Mandarin or Cantonese, right? Is that really what the big difference is? It's so that they can deal with the font problem essentially. Oh, and you can buy skins, huh? I see. Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Interesting. No, we're not going to do that. Stop advertising to me. Wow, look, and they get a tutorial in the China edition. We didn't get that. Why is the tutorial in English for the China edition? Doesn't that seem a little? Hang on, this. This all seems to be in English. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this tutorial has anything to do with the China edition. I think they just put this video here by accident. That doesn't seem to be related. Wow. Windows platform. The mobile platform. The Java edition is $29.99 in the US, and in China it's free. Yeah, well, you know, it's state subsidized, we'll say. Free is like a relative term. It's really hard to get. That sounds like a challenge. It's really hard to get. I think it's really hard to play it probably from an American account because they're probably restricting by IP address, like, you know, like most large countries do. They're not going to let Americans just punch holes through their state servers. So you could probably get the software, but you probably are going to have a real hard time running it unless you're like relaying through a VPN that's located in China or one of China's acceptable allied states. So, you know, like North Korea. Although relaying through North Korea might be a little hard too. But, no, but you get my point is that, you know, if you are Chinese, it's probably real easy to get. And if you're in China, it's probably really easy to run. You could probably get a copy of the software in the United States, but when you go to run it, unless you're relaying through some kind of switch that's going to, you know, like a VPN that's going to put you inside of China, on an IP address inside of China, you're not going to have much luck running it from the outside. And they were most likely required to do that legally by the Chinese state. Not the state of China, not the motherland. How do they say it nowadays? It's gotta be the motherland. Right? I'm not trying to be unsensitive. I have Chinese friends. Excuse my ignorance. Anti-addiction mod, huh? Wow, that's pretty cool. The anti-addiction mod. Do they have that for code? Does that come in Visual Studio too? That would be awesome. None of my employers had those. Anti-addiction, huh? So it probably lets you only play for a limited amount of time or for, you know, daily or something like that, right? It's like the Big Brother parenting app. Like when my kids go on websites they're not supposed to, I get notifications on my Gmail from Microsoft. They're like, hey, your kid's doing crappy. We're spying on your kid.
What?
Microsoft's spying on you guys. It's part of every household. It's not only them. It's Siri and Alexa too. They're all watching. So this Chinese edition, have you gotten it? You've only watched it on YouTube. You haven't actually gotten the Chinese edition.
Daddy, you gonna get the Chinese edition Minecraft?
Let's just type it into Google. How do I download China edition? Let's see. Here's a Reddit about it. That's totally believable. You should believe all the Reddits. I want to download it from my Android phone. Okay. But the website is Chinese and I cannot translate it. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. All China exclusive games require Chinese SSN to play. And there it is, the state social number entry. Saying you're gonna have to. They're gonna lock it down to the Chinese. So as long as you got a social card, and you're in their point system, as long as you're on their scoreboard, you can get a copy. Now, like I said, you can probably get the software. You can probably download the software. But the SSN part, it probably communicates exclusively with servers in China. So that's the other problem is like, you know, just like we block incoming packets from the Chinese on our firewalls, they block incoming packets from us. And even if you could get the software and bypass the SSN entry, like, you know, using injection around the screen that asks you for it or something like that, even if you could bypass all that crap, then you'd still have to somehow be able to communicate with the Chinese servers without the SSN. And, you know, that would be a much tougher hack. So this might be kind of a frivolous chase right here. Just saying. I think it's cool. But China don't fuck around. Yeah, what are you up to?
I was just chilling.
Oh, you're just chilling. Yeah, China don't mess around, so if they're gonna make it for the Chinese, you know, they're gonna lock it down. It's always gonna come down to that card. You're gonna have to have that special number. It's not something you can just whip up.
Actually, I was gonna ask something.
Alright, hang on 1 second. Sorry, I had to discuss something with my son. Yep. So this is cool, but no way I'm gonna get to play it here. I don't think. Anyways, let me pop open the commodities mod that I was running. I did run it here somewhere, didn't I? There it is. Oh, that's Roblox. Okay, maybe I didn't run it. Maybe. Oh, that's right. My build was failing. And I didn't want to look it up. Task run client failed. Yeah, this is another, I'm having some complex problems on this one, which has to do with messaging, essentially. Server client messaging. But yeah, I will get this running. I'll show it before I have another stream coming up with it here soon, so I'm gonna have to get it running again, just so people do not want to see, you know, just code 24/7. Let's go back to my changes here. Is Chris online yet? Who's online right now? No, just Thor. And that's it. Just Thor and Programmer Live and T-Setting. So, which these guys are great, don't get me wrong, but I was hoping that Chris would be online, and he's probably not going to be online today, actually. So I might as well just check in this code. I know it's risky, considering I didn't really code anything. I just commented out this one line. But the complaint was this is what was happening. I can save this. I can go here. Come on. Give me this. This is Giphium. I can... When we were here, we could check the label. But if we try to check the checkbox when it's not checked, like I'm clicking now, it wouldn't work. Now it'll uncheck from the checkbox, but it won't check again. Weird bug, right? Works here, doesn't work here when it's unchecked. Anyway, I dicked with it for a while, actually. The only problem with it, I actually added and removed a bunch of code. I'm like, man, what the hell? I'm like, maybe I just need to get rid of this on change event. And that's all I did. I just commented that shit out. And now... And now when I hit this, this works, and this works. So, I didn't code anything. I uncoded. I uncoded something. Thought I was going to get to contribute, but nope, just uncoded it. Anyway. Chris thought it was something with the base checkbox generation, implementation, or whatever this generic checkbox, generic polymorphic checkbox implementation is. I know nothing about Solid.js, by the way. I am a coder, but this is my first time ever running a TSX project, a TypeScript type project, or Solid.js, or any of this. Never done a day in my life, and I figured out a bug. Look at that, bam, done, mission accomplished. Yeah, I didn't use that either, dude. I'm a very old school. I write in, I mean, like I play around with Java and with Minecraft and Roblox, but I was a .NET architect, and I wrote .NET, C# and C++ mostly, and then wrote a lot of technology in between that, using those, SQL and ORM and Entity Framework and a bunch of old shit that nobody uses anymore. But that's what I did for a long time. Now I'm a mycologist. Now I don't do any of that shit. Now I grow mushrooms. And this is all just for fun. Although I do write lab software for our lab. My laboratory runs off of my own software. So I wrote our own LIS system. And that's pretty much what I do with my coding now. I code for us. So what do you do? Do you work in code? Yeah, I mean, I know JavaScript at least. So, I mean, if you know JavaScript and HTML, looking at these other languages isn't... Yeah, just in business, yeah. That's what I did, too. I wrote code just in business for a long time. Didn't do games at all, so this is just my fun projects and games. Oh, as a dental technologist, huh? Yeah, but that's cool. Yeah, I went to school for literature. Totally off topic too. But yeah, I think if you can read HTML or an XML and JavaScript and understand object-oriented languages and all this stuff is pretty straightforward. I think I just need to check this in Let's look at our change. Where is it? Changes. There's some way to do that in here. I never use Visual Code either. VS Code. I'm used to Visual Studio. So, this is a new experience on May levels. I've never used any of these libraries. And these are the things I had to install. Prerequisite software, we should say. And then VS Code extensions. So this is for new dev setup on Giphium product. There we go. So that was my other mission, was to get the new dev set up, hashed out for the project. I don't know if Chris made a ticket for that. New issue. Title. Dev workstation setup info. I don't know where Chris wants to put this. What does this say? To documentation. We'll just put that in. This is low priority. How do you set the priority on the stash saver? Blah, 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 blah. Task list. Code quote, bold, okay, whatever. We don't need that submit issue. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Alright. So, there we go. And then we need to check in our code here. So now that we've done that, now that we do that, how do we do that? How do we check in code? GitHub search. Uncommitted changes. Search and compare. What? No. No, we want uncommitted changes. So how do we open changes, copy, blah, 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 file history. How do I commit them? So Next.js is like a package that installs Node.js with Tailwind for you. Oh, I got you. And you can host websites for free. Offer sell that. That's how I host a website for my family's business. I got you. Yeah, I got you. Okay. Yeah, totally. I kind of knew some of that. I have never used it myself because I typically write my websites in Microsoft C# MVC, which is a model view controller platform. Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, and it's free hosting. I also host my own stuff at my own server farm, so I don't need to host anywhere else. I guess, it comes down to how much do you want other people to do for you too. I just don't like to depend on other people hosting and this and that. And if I've got something that I can host it on at the lab, I will. Since the network's already set up for it. Once you've got a network set up for it, it's all good. But like even our game servers, like we host Gary's Mod, Minecraft, Ark, I don't know, a few other games on servers here, and then we also host we host all of our lab software on servers here on the NOS, or it runs off the NOS. The data does. So a 5M, you know, it is so funny. I was talking to the 5M development team like 3 days ago. I was on a Twitch stream with them, and they want me to apply at Rockstar over there. That would be hilarious. I could not imagine working over at Rockstar. That would be nuts. That would be going back to exactly what the corporate culture I don't want to be part of, honestly. That is what it would be. It would be going back to the corporate culture I don't want to be part of. But yeah, I mean, a 5M GTA server would be cool. That, you know, role play server. Or you mean just all 5M? I mean, I don't know. I've had a lot of servers. I don't got time. The other ones, I don't even play on those. The kids made them or got me to make them at some point. The Minecraft server is actually a Forge 1.16.5 mod server. But everything else, like the Ark Survival, I haven't touched in a year or two. They just run. I've got automatic scripts and domain management hooked up to it all, so it just runs. Resets itself every so often when it detects an update. It automatically installs it and resets itself. Yeah. Yeah, I like I said, I think it'd be great. I might program a 5M mod. You know, but I would not. I don't know if I'd set up a server. Servers are cool. I just, like I said, I know there's coders on stream right now that do servers on 5M. Who was it? Who's Yeah, it's C#. Yeah. No, I see them coding it all the time. One of the streamers. What's that?
I have to go.
Go where?
Take Brantley to Austin's.
Oh, okay. I love you. Yeah, so who was it that's on? Let's look this up. Can I spell today? I don't know what's with me, but it's because I got shit in my hands. Who is it that runs Taylor Renee? This girl. She does 5M roleplay. What's the name of the roleplay that she does? Freestyle RP. Freestyle RP, that's what it is. It's a 5M roleplay mod. I guess a pretty popular one. I don't know. They seem to be working their ass off every day when I'm watching them. Every time I see them on, there's her and another guy named Zero. And Zero's kind of he's the brains over there, it seems like. She's a workhorse though, man. She's you can tell he's had a lot of more experience and she's learning from him, but they're a good team. It's fun to watch them. I like watching a lot of the dev streams around here, which is how I get involved, I think, with this community the most, is, watching other people's streams. They don't know I'm watching. I lurk it sometimes, but I watch these guys. It's crazy. People lurk me, though, too. I hate to say. I had a crazy encounter a couple nights ago with an AGT singer on here that was lurking me on here. But yeah, crazy shit. You get some cool people that come up on here and meet you. Yeah, right? That makes a lot of sense. Because I tell people that all the time. You can either play games or you can program them. And if you're programming a game, then that's the only game you're playing. You don't have time to do anything else. If you do, you're not putting your all into your game. I know a lot of guys play games on here that are coders, game coders, and it's okay. I just like saying you should definitely be putting your game first. It's hard to invest time to really play a game if you're really working on a game. What database are you going to set up? A NoSQL database or a SQL database? So I'll lay my screen a little bit. There we go. Like a little Raspberry Pi Linux. Oh, okay. Well, wow. That's cool. I've had a couple Raspberry Pis. Burned through a couple of them. They're cool. Yeah, and Arduinos. Yeah. Oh, you'll figure it out, man. It's like DOS, but Linux. You know? You'll figure it out. It's not that tough. Just different commands. But if you're a, kind of a computer guy anyway, it's like I said, most of this stuff is just playing with it. You don't have to know anything about anything to get into something. You just got to keep looking at it. That's the way I feel about it anyway. We just can't give up. Just can't give up. Yeah. And like I said, you don't have to know everything about Linux, by the way, to be able to do that little bit with the Raspberry Pi. So you can totally get away with, like, with, like, knowing that the things you need to know to get the job done. But I mean, apart from, Linux still runs on the same computer, so all the same hardware and everything applies, obviously. It's mostly syntax. It's a file operating system, essentially, so. And, yeah. Yeah, no, I would totally agree with that. I run a lot of MySQL. People wrote Postgres, too. Nothing wrong with any of that. That's fine. MySQL's fine. Like I said, the only time you're going to hit issues with MySQL is if you're getting into enterprise level stuff where you need to do like things like replication, across multiple geographic locations. Like, you need to have 3 data warehouses that are replicating data between all 3 of them, transactionally. Then, I think that if you don't need to do shit like that, I mean, MySQL's fine. Also, I guess unless you're gonna hold like freaking, a whole lot of data, I mean, then you're gonna need to be more picky. But even SQL Server will like struggle with when you get into Google level data. That's why Google had to invent the word Google, right? I mean, it's not that the database isn't good. It's just that there's limits to everything. It's a flat file paging system, so of course it's gonna have limits eventually. Everyone's going to have limits. You just got to kind of plan around those. And there's ways around even that, too. Like, you don't have to put everything in one damn table. A good normalized design in a database goes a long way. Just most people don't know how to do that. I like to use big technical words that people haven't heard in a long time. Normalized database architecture, That's what you don't hear these days anymore. But truthfully, it's a super important thing to database design, and it's not even funny. It's just understanding how data should be hierarchically and relationally, built. I got you. Yeah, well, programming is it's a world, man. Yeah, it's a world. There's so much. There's so much you can do and so much you'll never learn. It's even. You're lucky if you die knowing 10% of what's out there. It's crazy. I think it's the most important thing is being versatile, is teaching yourself. Because if you learn yourself, you teach yourself, you learn how to look shit up on Google. You learn how to fish out, what's going to work for you and what's not, and put the solutions together from different pieces. You're not like, just looking up instructions where you're copy pasting code and I mean, we all started there, but at the same time, you want to be able to, feel confident in that you could go into a new language and it's just a matter of syntax. You know that you need to access the hard drive and lock up this file and then, write to it, and then, you know these steps already from another language. So I think it just comes down to learning yourself is super important. If you can learn yourself and you can learn to look shit up, then it will forever change your life. People, like I said, give up too easily when they say, I can't do it. Look, I have never used any of these technologies that I just wrote up here on Chris's. I've never used any one of these, ever. 16 hours ago, I installed them. And I fixed his bug on his software and got it running locally. And look, I mean, I asked him a couple questions. But man, I'm telling you, if you are good at learning yourself, picking up a new thing it's not hard then, because you know how to look things up, you know how things generally work, and the further along you get, the easier it is to start to understand. Also, if you've done C syntax languages, like JavaScript and things like that, they're all kind of look the same. It's just different objects, different frameworks with different hierarchies and different words to access those objects, essentially. Different naming conventions, different APIs, different services. The concept's always the same, because it's software running on hardware you already know. You know the hard drive, memory, the CPU, buses are, all those things stay the same no matter what. But no, this is reverse engineering. This is what I'm talking about. If you know what a piece of software does and you know how the hardware works, it's just, you can draw a map from that. And we used to. It's called UML, I mean, you draw maps. Actually, that's how visual coding in Unreal Engine works, like blueprints. It's really like a fancy UML and code generation system combined with Visual Studio, and it's generating code under the sheets that you visually draw relationships between, and that's making properties and methods on the objects that you create, but all under the sheets it's creating, code. And that's UML. What is it? Universal Modeling Language? UML? Probably. Yeah. Visual modeling language that helps software developers design, construct, and document software systems. There you go. Bam. Anyways. It was created a long, long time ago, but it's flow charts, man. It's flow diagrams, like workflows. That's exactly what UML created, was the workflow. And yeah, this is how you get to reverse engineering, because if you can map something out like in UML or in a workflow, then you can replicate the functionality, and that's essentially reverse engineering. Now, if you want to reverse engineer from code specifically, they just hand you a big thing of code and you go backwards from that, it's the same thing. You take all those classes, you break them out into a visual chart, all their properties, which ones talk to which, the relationships both in execution and access. The references, essentially, you draw those out visually. But it's not hard to reverse engineer things once you know how things work. It's really just a matter of steps, process, and knowing which tools to use. So the first thing is being able, if you're going to reverse engineer something, and this is usually done by competitors, by large business competitors. This is like corporate espionage shit. They have the software, now let's map it out and make our own version. Microsoft is well known for this. There's a Microsoft version of fucking everything that ever came out. I remember when I was growing up, there were a lot of technologies at Microsoft that wouldn't sell they wouldn't just sell out to Microsoft. So Microsoft just built their own version and named the stuff inside of it different things and called it their own technology. Like Active Directory services, one that still sticks around today. that used to be NDS, Nortel Directory Service, if I'm not mistaken. Novell, Nortel, I can't remember. Was it Norvell or Nortel? NDS. Okay, NDS, let's. No, it did not come from the Novell NDS directory. Yeah. So it did not come from there. It was just a stolen concept. But yeah, so it was Novell. It was Novell's NDS, Novell Directory Systems, and it did not. It did not come from them. I mean, this is all bullshit in my opinion. Yes, it's different. It's different. It's not this one. ADS was made for Windows, but the concept was the same. The concept was the same, and it was stolen. And Microsoft's known for doing this. Microsoft's known for taking something conceptually from another company and making the Microsoft version. Yeah, I mean, they've done that with all kinds of shit. But yeah, they would reverse engineer it. They just simply sit down and say, look, what's it doing? How's it doing? How do we want ours to work? Now, back then, there was nothing protecting Novell from Microsoft. There was no Digital Millennium Copyright Act. There was nothing that really protected them from Microsoft taking this and changing a few things. And they didn't steal the code. They wrote their own system, but they stole the idea. The idea was definitely Novell's idea and not Microsoft's. And they technically made it different, but technicalities and shit. Who invented it? Well, then we're gonna go with Novell invented it. They invented the system, the central point of access for users that allowed you to essentially be a point of authentication, and it gave you permissions and groups on the network access to resources that were defined on the network. That sounds like ADS to me. I don't know if you can get nitpicky about nomenclature there, but essentially for me it was the same fucking thing. Now ADS worked great, especially on Windows. It worked much better. It was more integrated. Things like eventually took advantage of ADS really well, which is why it's still around. I think that they won that war, but they didn't come up with the idea. And there's a lot of ideas like that Microsoft has ran their own version of, and that's okay. That's what they do over at MS. They see a good idea and they hop on the bandwagon with it, and I'm not against that, honestly. But let's be honest with ourselves. What it is, they didn't invent it. They programmed this implementation of that invention. I'll give them that. Inventing something's a different thing. And I can tell you lots of times I think I invent something. Like, this has happened to me probably 100 times. And I go online. I'll even just start looking for domain names to buy around my invention, and I'll find the same domain name for the same product that I came up with. All in my head, but somebody else got there first, man. Even the same damn name as me. So, oh yeah, we were going to figure out how to commit this change, right? Right. And how do we... One file change, uncommitted changes, working tree, modified... How do we... Okay, I staged the changes. And I don't know what that means. But that's fine. I think that means that I think I was supposed to do... I don't know. I don't know if I was supposed to do that. We'll see. Chris might yell at me. But honestly, I just took stuff out, so I'm not seeing. That's the wrong one, sorry. Oh, there it is. Jeez. See, this is what I was looking for. Alright. And that was what it was. It was on the on-change event, right? Reacting. Good notes, by the way, are super important in development. I just want to mention that. So we commented out the on-change event handler, which appears to get everything working correctly. Both the label and the checkbox can be clicked upon, and the shadow is reacting properly. Right? There we go. Now we're going to commit those changes. And now we're going to sync. What? Am I already signed in? Okay, I guess I can't push it. I don't have permissions. I don't have permissions. But I did commit the change, so I couldn't sync it. But I committed the change. So let's just make sure that's... So can I set the status? He didn't assign me as owner, did he? I don't know. It says he's the owner. I don't think I can actually move this ticket forward. So it says status is open. I don't think I can screw with this ticket. For some reason, I think Chris is in control of it, and there's no way for me to progress this ticket. I do think I checked in the code. Because... But it's showing the editor's checked in now. It will not let me sync, but that's okay. I don't think I have permission to do that. So... Oh, so here's the current... Okay, so this is the queue. And I have finished... We're gonna edit this. Changes made and committed. Tested on local development workstation. And update comment. There we go. All right, hopefully that fixes all the issues. And for that problem. Now, a watermark, huh? Line numbers. Use a store for the main view's persistent state. So I guess I can't do anything. It says it's an open issue. I don't have a way to close this issue, I don't think. So I think only Chris can close the issues. But I did put a comment in saying that I fixed it and it's checked in. So what else can I do? Nothing. That's it. We're done with today's chill and code for CF Griffin. Let's see. This is his game channel. Where is his normal channel? I'm pretty sure I'm a subscriber. There it is, way at the bottom. Here it is. CM Griffin's normal coding channel. If you guys have not checked it out, then definitely check out his channel. This is the inventor of the project, the Giphium, or Giphium. I'm not sure if we're calling it Giphium or Giphium. But obviously a play off his Griffin name. This is his product, and what it actually does is it shows you code changes between the code. And this is what I fixed. I fixed this shadow box not checking correctly, and it is now checking correctly. And we can generate this, and it's going to show you an image of the code changing. You can see here we have a problem with the length of it. He must be working on that right now. But this is to show different to show code changes essentially. So you can get a visual of code transitioning. Now he's working with another component to do this. I don't know all those details. You can find out more on CM Griffin's Twitch here. Be sure to give him a follow at least, and if you stick around there and you learn anything from this amazingly intelligent dude, then I would recommend you subscribe to. I am a subscriber, as you can see, to his Twitch channel. So, anyways, I'm gonna get off here for right now. I'm going to let's see who's on. Oh my God, I don't want to dump you with Thor.
So we do that. We show that it succeeds.
Thor's got enough.
And then they go, hey, maybe we can do that.
18,260 viewers.
Like,
save some
when we
for
first
the
started
rest
paying
of
the
us,
moderators,
Thor.
there were a ton of people that actually came out. They're like, you're going to be bankrupt in 6 months.
Save some for the
But
rest
you guys
of us,
supported the
homie.
stream. You supported what we
Nah,
were
I'm
doing.
just kidding. We love you,
And
bro.
as such, you know what I got to do?
We love you.
I gave them all a raise.
All right. Well, we're not going to dump you with Thor. Let's find
So
somebody
thank you.
else.
Thanks for watching
in
the stream.
software, freaking whatever area, right? Wow. Thor has got it going on, though, dude. This dude has got it going on, let me tell ya. Wow. So, yeah, let's see who else we got online right now. Let's go to my channel. Let's go into software game development. Let's see. So Troy Komodo's on. We like Troy. He's cool. Who else we got on right now? Let's go all the way to the bottom of the list. Let's one person raid, because I think it's just me and you, Talk Smiles. Let's one person raid somebody that's never been raided. Let's see, somebody that doesn't have a lot of viewers. Who do I know here? I don't know any of these people. Wow. That's crazy. There's like, okay. All right, let's go over here. He's not even. Hang on, let's see.
Здесь нам надо только зарегистрировать нашу модель. То, что зарегистрировать модель.
Yeah, I can't even talk to him, so we're not going to raid him. We're going to find somebody else to raid. I'd love to be able to at least talk English to the person. Although I don't mind that we've got a bunch of different developers on here now. Let's see who's here. A mono game, making RPG from scratch, not using an engine, but made my own. What? What? Okay, we're gonna raid this. We're gonna raid this person. We're gonna raid this person. All right, gonna be raiding. Yeah, dude, Talk Smiles, I'll talk to you soon, bro. I am over there right now. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Oh, and I'm not a follower yet, so we had to follow for me to be able to chat. I can raid, but I can't chat. So we raided Schmelly Orc. The Schmelly Orc. We raided him, and I had my huge raiding party of Talk Smiles and I of one. Just us two guys. But I'm sorry, it's it's what it is. I'm just not a celeb on here yet. So but we love other devs, and if I'm gonna find people that got 4 or 5 viewers, I'm gonna give them some love. That's what it comes down to. Because I have never been raided. Hopefully one day I'll get a raid from a dude like me that just says, "Hey man, the low level guys need a little love too." I'm hoping I'll be able to get paid forward someday. Yeah, anyways. Thanks for joining me, Talk Smiles. I'm going to get off of here, homie. And I'll talk to you guys soon again on the next stream or wherever. I see ya. I'll see you around, I'm sure. All right, peace.